Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Kính ngưỡng bái bạch chư tôn đức tăng ni. Kính thưa tất cả quý đồng hương Phật tử, hôm nay là ngày vui của khắp cả nhân loại, cộng đồng Phật giáo Việt Nam cũng như cộng đồng Phật giáo khắp cả thế giới đang hân hoan và đón mừng ngày thành đạo của Đức Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật cách đây 26 thế kỷ. Những gì quý vị đã nghe qua Thượng tọa MC về cuộc đời của Đức Phật, và tất cả quý vị đã chứng kiến sự có mặt của đạo Phật trên cuộc đời này và sự hành hoạt của Phật giáo đối với cộng đồng Phật giáo trên khắp năm châu. Và giờ đây chúng con và chúng tôi xin thành tâm trân trọng tuyên bố khai mạc đại lễ Đức Phật Thành Đạo Phật lịch 2562 và năm 2019. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Và nhân đây cũng xin trân trọng giới thiệu đến tất cả quý vị Thượng tọa MC Đức Trí. Xin quý vị cho tràng vỗ tay.
Chúng con xin được tri ân Thượng tọa trưởng ban tổ chức. Kính bạch và kính thưa toàn thể quý vị, vũ trụ đều sáng trong, trời rồng thần quy tụ, hư không tấu nhạc trời để cúng dường Đức Thế Tôn. Còn hôm nay chúng ta tại đạo tràng chùa Khánh Hỷ được phước duyên đầy đủ kỷ niệm ngày lễ thành đạo, xem đây như một thông điệp mầu nhiệm mà đấng giác ngộ đã trao lại cho chúng ta, là một sự nhắc nhở chiêm nghiệm làm sao để việc sống đạo, tu đạo, hành đạo của chúng ta là một thể hiện của sự vận hành tuệ giác vào trong thế gian đầy nhiễm ô. Và để tiếp nhận tinh thần đó, kính xin quý vị hãy lắng nghe nội dung cuộc đời Đức Phật bằng Anh ngữ. Xin kính mời em Tích Phali xin lên phía trên để diễn đọc bài cuộc đời Đức Phật bằng Anh ngữ. Xin kính mời.
Hi everybody. Okay, so Tai asked me to read this. It's called The Life and Nature of the Buddha. And so it goes. Gautama Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, lived in northern India in the 6th century BC. His personal name was Siddhartha and family name Gautama. The name Buddha was given to him after he attained enlightenment and realized the truth. It means the awakened or the enlightened one. Siddhartha was born a prince who seemed to have everything. He had a luxurious upbringing and his family was of pure descent on both sides. He was the heir to the throne, extremely handsome, inspiring trust, stately and gifted with great beauty of complexion and fine presence. Despite all of this, he felt trapped amidst the luxury like a bird in a golden cage. During a visit to the city one day, he was what is known as the four sights. That is, an old man, a sick man, a dead man, and a holy recluse. When he saw the sights one after another, the realization came to him that life is subject to age and death. And he asked, where is the realm of life in which there is neither age nor death? The sight of the recluse, who was calm for having given up the craving for material life, gave him the clue that the first step in his search for the truth was renunciation. Determined to find the way out of these universal sufferings, he decided to leave home to find the cure for not only himself but for all of mankind. One night, in his 29th year, he bade his sleeping wife and son a silent farewell, saddled his great white horse, and rode off toward the forest. For 6 long years, he labored to find the truth. He studied under the foremost masters of the day and learned all the religious teachers he could teach him. When he could not find what he was looking for, he joined a band of ascetics and tortured his body as to break its power and crushed in its interference, since it is believed that the truth could not be found this way. A man of enormous energy and willpower, he outdid other ascetics in every austerity they proposed. While fasting, he ate so little that when he took a hold of his skin, the skin of his stomach, he actually touched his spine. He pushed himself to the extent that no man had done yet, and yet lived. He too would have certainly died had he not realized that futility of self-mortification and decided to practice moderation instead. On the full moon night of the 9th of Visakha, he sat under the Bodhi tree at Gaya, wrapped in deep meditation. It was then his mind burst the bundle of the universe and realized the true nature of all life and all things. At the age of 35 years old, he was transformed from an earnest truth seeker into a Buddha, the enlightened one. For nearly half a century, the Buddha walked on the dusty paths of India, teaching Dharma so that those who heard and practiced could be ennobled and free. He founded an order of monks and nuns, challenged the caste system, raised the status of women, taught religious freedom and free inquiry, opened the gates of deliverance to all in every condition of life, high or low, saint or sinner, and ennobled the lives of criminals like Angulimala and the courtesans of Ambapali. He was towering in wisdom and intellect. Every problem was analyzed in component parts and then reassembled in logical order with the meaning made clear. None can defeat him in dialogue. An unequal teacher, he still is the foremost analyst of the mind and phenomena even to the present day. For the first time in history, he gave men the power to think for themselves, raised the worth of mankind, and showed man that he can reach the highest knowledge and supreme enlightenment by his own efforts. Despite his peerless wisdom and royal lineage, he was never removed from the simple villagers. Surface distinctions of class and caste meant little to him. No one was too little or too low for him to help. Often when an outcast or poor or dejected came to him, his self-respect was restored and he turned from the ignoble life to that of noble being. The Buddha was full of compassion and wisdom, knowing how and what to teach an individual for his own benefit according to his level and capabilities. He was known to have walked long distances to help one single person. He was affectionate and devoted to his disciples, always inquiring after their well-being and progress. When staying at the monastery, he paid daily to the sick wards. His compassion for the sick can be seen in his advice. He who attends the sick attends on me. The Buddha kept order and discipline on the basis of mutual respect. Kind Pesanati could not understand how the Buddha maintained such order and discipline in the community of monks when he as a king with the power to punish could not maintain as well in his court. Many miraculous powers were attributed to him, but he did not consider these important. To him, the greatest miracle was to explain the truth and make man realize it. A teacher with deep compassion, he was moved by human suffering and was determined to free man from its fetters by a rational system through a system of thought and way of life. After 45 years of ministry, the Buddha passed away at the age of 80 at Kusinara, leaving behind thousands of followers, monks, and nuns, and a vast treasure store of Dharma teachings. The impact of great love, dedication is still felt today. In the three great men in history, H.G. Wells states, in the Buddha you see clearly a man, simple, devout, battling for light, a vivid human personality, and not a myth. He too gave a message to mankind universal in character. Not many of our best modern ideas are in the closest harmony with it. All the miseries and discontents of life are due, he taught, to selfishness. Before a man can become serene, he must cease to live for his senses, for himself. Then he merges into a greater being. Buddhism, in a different language, called man to self-forgetfulness 500 years before Christ. In some ways, he was nearer to our needs. He was a great man who wielded an extraordinary influence on others, even during his lifetime. His personal magnetism, moral prestige, and radiant confidence in his discovery made him a popular success. During his active life as a teacher, the Buddha enlightened many who listened to him. He attracted the high and the low, the rich and the poor, educated and illiterate, men and women, householders and ascetics, nobles and peasants. He went in search of the vicious to teach, while the pure and virtuous came in search of him to learn. To all, he gave the gift of the truth that he had discovered. His disciples were kings and soldiers, merchants and millionaires, beggars and courtesans, religious as well as the secluded people. When people were fighting, he made peace between them. When they were deluded, he enlightened them. When they were inflamed with rage and lust, he gave them cooling water of truth. When they were inflamed with rage and lust, he gave them the cooling water of truth. When they were forsaken and wretched, he extended to them the infinite love of his compassionate heart. His teachings were basically simple and meaningful. To put an end to evil, to fulfill all good, to purify the mind, this is the advice of the Buddhas. He gave the world a new explanation of the universe. He gave a new vision of eternal happiness, the achievement of perfection in Buddhahood. He pointed out the way to the permanent state beyond all impermanency, the way to Nibbana, and the final deliverance from the misery of existence. His time was 2,600 years ago, yet even today, this great teacher honored not only by the religious-minded people, he is also honored by atheists, historians, rationalists, and intellectuals all over the world who have acknowledged him as the enlightened, most liberal-minded and compassionate teacher.
giải thoát tri kiến quang minh vận đại biện pháp giới cúng dường thập phương vô thượng tôn. Nam mô Hương cúng dường Bồ Tát. Nam mô Hương cúng dường Bồ Tát. Nam mô Hương cúng dường Bồ Tát. Ma Tát
xưng tán Đức Thế Tôn bậc vô thượng pháp vương, trải qua vô lượng kiếp tu nhân từ cung trời đâu xuất giáng trần. Dạ tư ngôi vị quốc vương ngồi gốc bồ đề dẹp phá ma quân. Một sớm sao mai vừa mọc đạo lượng viên thành, rồi đại truyền pháp luân. Thánh chúng ba thừa cùng quy hướng nhất tâm, quả vô sanh đã chứng. Giờ này chúng con cùng quy hướng nhất tâm, nguyện quả vô sanh sớm chứng. Nhưng con đoán lẽ công viên quả mạng hãng phục ma binh, nhất đỏ minh tinh đạo thanh chánh giác. Nhất độ minh tinh đạo thanh chánh giác. Ngài Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nhân tam đàn lễ công viên quả mạng hăng phục ma binh, nhất độ minh tinh đạo thanh chánh giác. Ngài Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Quỳ xuống nhỏ. Kêu lên Phật nhà đón